Hello and welcome to Sporting Jibberish. I'm Stu Booth.
And I'm Charles Luffman. That was interesting. For those who aren't watching, why have you gone to like old England accent?
I was trying to work out, should I go, and you guys that are listening to a podcast, you need to look at this on YouTube. Should it be button all the way up to the top? Or do you think we should be casual, get a little bit of chest hair out there? What do you reckon?
Better floats your boat. What are you wearing anyway? What?
So for those that don't know, that was a bit weird that. For those that don't know, it's actually the Golf Society's big day tomorrow, and Stu Booth is making a rare appearance.
I know you are, but part of it's individual competition, but part of a team of 4 as well.
Yes, so we have a Sporting Jibberish crew, myself, you, Larks, and Matty Aldridge.
Yeah, so we've gone for some team shirts. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? I think they're nice.
Matty's not happy because he says it's Man City blue, which he's probably writing that, and it's got lines of purple in it, which is Man City colours as well. So it's like, it is very Man City.
That's why we bought it, obviously.
Winners.
Yeah, winners are grinners.
Yeah.
Losers are Spurs fans.
Yeah, and Arsenal fans.
Yeah, well, Arsenal. They're not even, they don't even count.
Oh, okay. Right, so anyway, onwards for today's show. We've got the Euros. We're going to be having a little look at how the first week went, have a little look at the football competition we've got going on. Also, some interesting news about what's happening at Radisson Red.
Yeah, I know, it looks decent.
So we need to get our swimming trunks on for that bad boy.
The budgies.
Budgie smugglers. Larkin's got a pair of them.
Sporting Jibberish budgies, what do you reckon?
That sounds like an awesome idea. We're going to be talking US golf, which is starting in the next couple of hours.
Couple of hours, as we record.
So we're looking forward to that, and of course England cricket test.
Yeah.
Less said about that, the better.
Yes,
right.
indeed.
So we're going to start off with our sporting week. So we quickly mentioned them. We'll talk a little bit more detail. Golf. So tomorrow is our
WSO Golf Society. Probably the last one of the school year.
Yeah, I think so, and it's the last one under Keane's. Oh, it's a turnover, isn't it? It's the official handover.
Yeah, so Darren Keane, who created the society, I don't know, probably 18 months ago now, maybe. Done a grand job. Keno has. What a bloke he is. He's always up for the crack.
Yeah.
And but he's going back with his family to Ireland, and he's actually going to start his own videography business to begin with.
Was he?
So he's going to just leave teaching at the side for the moment. So good luck with that, Dan. But so as a consequence, we need a new chairman.
Yes, well.
And there's only one person for that job, isn't there?
That is correct. It has to be the one and only Mr. Paul Fogarty.
Yeah.
Which will be interesting because he's got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, he'll be feeling the pressure off, folks. But so tomorrow we're out at 7:30.
Yeah, I think the message from the new gaffer was we need to be at a certain place for 7:30, and I think we're teeing off at 7:48.
7:48, yeah. So early start would be good. I've never played it actually. So.
I don't even know where it is.
No, to be honest, neither do I.
No.
I hope Larks does because I'm jumping in with him.
Yeah, well, you could end up anywhere.
Yeah, so it could end up anywhere. But hopefully we end up at Ellsworth. We're looking forward to it. I'll be honest, I've got my handicap. It's come down to 17, but I'm struggling to play off it. I can't deny that it's struggling, so I don't know how we're going to go, mate. But we're going to have some fun. It's going to be really hot. We're going to look good in our new team shirts.
Yeah.
So what else does it matter?
No, does not matter at all. So we looking forward to Sporting Jibberish bringing home the trophy in our Man City gear.
Yeah.
But just on that note, Darren actually spoke to me the other day about a young lady out here called Jess Walkinshaw. Before she was diagnosed with cancer. Yeah. So they're putting on a fundraising event, and it's another golf event. And I'm pretty sure they've got ones.
It's at the par 3, I think, isn't it? At Montgomery?
Yes.
No,
it's
not
Trump. It's Trump.
Yeah.
So it's on Sunday the 27th of June. So there's lots of tee-off times available, and if people want to get involved in it, there's a lot of fundraising that's going to go towards Jess and obviously the situation she's in at the moment. So if you're interested in that, drop us a line and then we'll put you in contact with Darren and the fundraiser over there. And if there's any companies that may want to get involved in sponsorship, because I know they're offering quite a few prizes in the golf clubs, but all for a good cause. So if you're out and about and you fancy getting involved, drop us a line and then we'll put you in direct contact with that person.
Yeah, perfect.
But you, Wanderers.
Yeah, so
big meeting this week, wasn't it?
Busy week. Big meeting on Monday at Holiday Inn. It wasn't on Shakeside Road, DSL 9.
Isn't that bizarre that place like Dubai with all these flash hotels, it's still got a holiday in.
Yeah, it's on the cheap, like, isn't it? But yeah, true to form, we got bombarded all weekend. 6:30 start, don't be late. 6:30 start. Me and Dave were there at 6:25. We were still the only ones there at 5 to 7. They eventually kicked off at about 7:15. But yeah, good. Just they're sort of introducing what they're going to do for the season and different things like that. But they've accepted us, so we're in. We're just going to find some money now to pay for it.
And when's that due tomorrow?
Last week, I think, by the sounds of things. So, yeah, she's all systems go. A couple of the lads have spoken to a couple of sponsors as well, and we've got 5 or 6 more. So there's nothing major, but other than the fact that we've definitely got a place to go. So hopefully this time next week we might have something to share, maybe confirm sort of the colours and the badges and things like that. So.
And do you have a badge now?
Well, we're working on it. We've got a few options, so Michelle was going to sort of take those into consider those little tweaks, and then we'll have one. But we've definitely gone for sort of an old lettering style badge, cricket badge, like NCC and the Notts County Cricket Club. They're one they're using at the moment. It's gone that way, and then we're going to introduce I think our club colours are going to be bright blue and navy blue. Not necessarily dissimilar to the collar on the wonderful golf shirt you've got there, that kind of thing. But we're also going to introduce a little bit of pink in there. Clint, our coach, is adamant he wants pink training kit, so he wants us to stand out. So yeah, that's where we are. So it's still exciting, and hopefully week on week there'll be a bit more to talk about. You played last night.
Yes, in essence, I was there.
You were there.
So yeah, I'd obviously seized up with the back last week. Intense physio on Saturday. I didn't tell the wife this, but she was like, "You weren't playing again for this season. You know, like, you need to stop it." And I'm like, "Are you sure? You really sure about that? Can we not do anything about it?" Anyway, so I went off. She gave me a lot of exercises. For the first ever time, I did all the exercises the physio asked me to do, and I went back to see her on Wednesday, a couple of hours before the game, and she gave me the all clear to play. She did say, if I start feeling twinges, I need to come off straight away. So, started the game, we played Bears, who are normally known as like, they're probably the 4th best team 11 side. So we had a decent squad down there, and expected them to turn up with a bit of a squad, and they turned up with 12 or 13 players. They were really struggling. So I think they took a look at ours because we had a few players that haven't really played for us before, but have just hit that bracket. So we actually had an ex-Swedish international player play for us, Christian Williamson, that actually played for, I believe he played for Roma when United beat them 7-1.
Oh.
But he's also played in the European Championships and the World Cup for Sweden.
Very good.
So he is a year older than me. So he played on the right hand side. I played number 10 role. So it was really good to play with a player of that standard, and he's just unbelievable. The easiest way to describe it is watching him dribble with the ball is like watching Steve McManaman. Looks effortless. Doesn't look like he's travelling, but he is travelling.
Yeah.
Doesn't do any particular skill to go past people, but just goes around people. Anyway, he just tore them to shreds last night. But yeah, I managed 43 minutes and the back went completely. So got 43 minutes in the belt. So yeah, good result, 172.
And bagged a couple as well.
Yeah, managed to get 2. Christian got brought out for a penalty, so I was like, that's mine. And then got 1 about 3 minutes before. I think the goal cost me my back, just because the way I stretched for the ball, and then it went kadunk, and then that was it. But it's dead bizarre because it's inside my butt cheek, and it's an ongoing joke, that isn't it, Joe? That's a story for another day. But yeah, there's a piriformis in your butt.
Which is a piri cheek.
Yeah,
piriformis.
And when it cramps up, it causes a seizure up your back, so your back muscle seizes up, but then also goes down to your hamstring and your IT band down the side of your leg. So I have to warm up the piriformis, the hamstring, the IT band and my back before I can think about kicking a ball. So it's a bit of pain in the bum at the moment.
Yeah, you've been used to that.
I tell you what she did to me though. Did something called dry needling. For people out there, they'll go, dry needling sounds a little bit like, it's a cool way you stick pins in people's... Acupuncture. Yeah. But the physiotherapist hates acupuncture. He's like, it's for holistic, it's for release of energy. It's a lot of rubbish. And I was like, alright, fair enough. Anyway, so what happens, imagine that you've got your fibres that are crossed over and they're really, really tight, and you can't quite get into them because it's that tight, and it's right in the middle of my big fat ass as well. Just because they're putting a dry needle in, so what it does is this needle goes in and it reacts and it kind of like splinters the fibres back open. So it goes in, dead bizarre, and you're like, oh, that feels a bit, and then all of a sudden your butt cheeks started twitching, like you know, like you sometimes get like a tap nerve in your finger, and it starts, and that was happening, and it was just going more and more, and the needles going, I was like, ooh, this is a bit weird. And I'm like, oh, I actually quite like this.
I was say, you've gone back for more, so it must have been all.
No, but I got up after it, and I was like, it felt like all the pressure had just been released, and anybody that's had a bad back and you feel like you're walking a bit arched. So there was like, upright, and I was like, you know what? I'm all for dry needling.
So, if in doubt, dry needle out.
Dry needle, I love a good prick up the bum.
Well, on that note, let's move on.
I got that off Kate, she said that to me today. She was like, dry needle? I was like, yeah. Anyway, right,
Good,
okay.
let's go.
US golf. Our friend Dave Coupland, as we mentioned, should be teeing off in the next couple of hours. Wish you all the best, Dave. Good luck.
Go on the Lincolnshire Yellow Belly.
Yeah, and I can imagine everybody back home is cheering for Dave and watching with bated breath, you know, and see how well he does.
I did speak to him over Instagram early in the week. Wished him well, and he has said that when he's back on in Blighty after this weekend, hopefully after making the cut after 2 rounds, so he's had a full weekend there, he'll come on and have a chat with us. So.
That, just to make the cut would be an amazing,
unbelievable first time round. So yeah, so go well, mate. But you've got a couple of tips.
Yeah, so we had a little look, and if there's anybody we should have got on the show for tipping, it should be Matty Aldred. Yeah. I actually tipped Phil Mickelson a couple of tournaments ago, and was it 200 to 1?
Yeah, he won a bit of dollar, didn't he?
No, I don't think he did win that much because he like put 50p each way.
15p, 20p each way.
Yeah, the minimum bet. But yeah, he won off of that. But I've had a little look, so I've picked out 2 people, and I think you've got the same in your side. So they're going with John Rahm. Basically, he's been the man to beat at this course. So since 2017, he's been thereabouts in every type of event that's happened at Torrey Pines. So he seems to be a guy to look out for. But it's a shame because Tiger Woods also has good history.
And John Rahm must be okay because he was been playing well, but he was winning that round of golf and he got pulled off the course because he got COVID, hadn't he?
Yeah. So
but obviously he's recovered and. So shooting out of isolation and where we go.
Yeah, so he's definitely one to keep an eye on. And then the other one is I've got Victor Hovland, who since the start of the year has had 6 top 6 finishes, which is
very consistent.
Yeah, I think that's the key aspect, is that miss consistency there. Maybe he might not win you the tournament, but if he's big odds, then it might be worth a little bit of an each way.
Each way bet, yeah, good. I've gone for, well, first of all I went for Rory. I just think he's too good a player not to get another major sooner rather than later. He's been playing some decent golf, and to be honest with you, I back him every tournament, so we'll go with him. I did think about Westy because I think it's just about time he won one, but then I realised he got married in Las Vegas, so I don't think he's going to be in any state. And I mean, his wife now is on his bag, but so I'm not sure their mind's going to be quite at it.
Tell you what,
can you imagine having Jill caddying for you?
Can you imagine having your wife at work with you?
I know. You know what, Mom?
Imagine me going round. What do you think here? 6? No, I don't agree with. Well, I'm telling you it's 6, and throw my clubs down and walk off.
But anyway, so West. But the other one I think is DeChambeau. I don't like the lad at all, but I don't think you can bet against him on that course because obviously we all know how big he goes, and of course he's defending champion. So. McIlroy and DeChambeau for me. Yeah.
Okay, right. Well, we'll have a look at the weekend and see how that gets on. Just had the lurch appear at the window. If you're looking at home and you're literally like, what the hell's going to... That's exactly our viewpoint. You know, like, lurch, 6'17", Harry Boo just...
So that is the son he's talking about.
Yeah.
He just gets bigger every time I see it.
Just well, there wasn't a wife. But, yeah, he just appeared and disappeared in the blink of an eyelid. That bit lasted season all weekend.
Result.
Yes. Right. Okay. European Championships has started. We'll run through a few. I'll go through the results and we'll have a little bit of talking point. Italy opening game beat Turkey, which should have been out, which is a little bit sad.
Yeah.
Italy looked very, very good on the evening. Turkey a little bit disappointing. The day after we had Wales 1, Switzerland 1. Switzerland will just be sat there kicking themselves, thinking, "How did we not win this game?" Wales would be literally, we stole that draw.
Yeah.
Denmark, unfortunately, the sad aspect around it, Christian Eriksen, lost 1-0 to Finland, and I wonder now if they sit there thinking we should have made.
Well, have you seen some comments have come out since that I noticed that the manager's come out and said if the tournament will say that if there's a COVID case, and I didn't listen to all of it in terms of what would constitute this, but I'm assuming if there's a bit of a case of COVID in the camp, you can delay the game by 24 hours, but for cardiac arrest on the pitch, that's play. It sounds like Schmeichel's come out and said it was a spur of the moment decision that was wrong. I think, and no one ever says, I think they've been put under pressure to play.
Yeah.
I do honestly, and he shouldn't have done it. Thankfully, the boy Eriksen is well, and I see today he's having one of these heart things fitted to restart his heart, which I don't think he's very keen on, but obviously he's got to have it.
Yeah, so. A lad who I used to play football with, Blackie, Phil Blackwell, he had the same, and he had a second attack, and he went out and that kicked his heart back in, so it saved his life. So I think it's happened to him a couple of times. I think he's actually died twice, 2 or 3 times, but because of obviously he put his pacemaker in.
Yeah.
And he had to wear this really bizarre like shield that comes over. It was almost like a like the gladiator leather strap. It was almost like that to protect.
My dad has wears a pacemaker, and it's that you can feel it underneath. Not because he's ever touch wood, never had a heart attack, but he was slow coming out of recovery for his blood pressure and his pulse rate once when he had a minor op, and they thought there's something wrong with his heart. But he's always had a low. He tells me he's got a heart rate of an elite athlete. I mean, those who know what Shrek looks like, I'm not quite sure.
It's called Shrek, should tell you.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, thank goodness Eriksen is up and about. And
good.
Hopefully he plays again, but I doubt it, unfortunately.
Yeah, disappointed Finland ended up winning that game. Belgium cruised to a 3-0 win against Russia. I actually watched Russia last night, I'll talk about them, but they didn't look too bad, so that, if you put that in perspective, it means Belgium are looking sharp. Sunday saw England play Croatia, a bit of a steady away game. England not really troubled, but didn't really put it to bed at the same time. Good goal, good break from Phillips, good finish. Well, it was a finish from Sterling. He hit the target. What else can you really expect?
Yeah, exactly.
A couple of unlucky moments. Foden hitting the post. Kane should have done a bit better. The back post.
I think overall they were comfortable without being. But I think the pressure of, it's not a home tournament, but the pressure of a Wembley Stadium, the pressure that obviously they're expected to do reasonably well, and an opening group game, I think 1-0 is a very commendable result. Yeah,
and then we had Austria 3, North Macedonia 1. North Macedonia going really well until about the 78th minute, and then a bit like the Hungary game, just capitulated and ended up losing. So Austria won. Interesting one on that one was, did you see Arnautovic?
He's been panned, hasn't he, for a game?
As he, so he came out with some not very nice slurs, and Alba actually grabbed hold of him during his rant to calm him down, to tell him to shut up and say that's out of order. Yeah. So every credit Alba for attempts. A team that I did pick at the beginning, Ukraine, lost 3-2 to the Netherlands. 2-0 down, brought it back to 2-2, only to concede in the 82nd minute, I think. So again, it'll be interesting to see how Ukraine do in their second match, but gave Holland a bit of a scare. Yeah. Moving on to Scotland 0, Czech Republic 2. It's the strangest thing ever to say that Czech Republic won 2-0 and it sounds comfortable, and it was anything other than that. And I thought Scotland played well at times, and I think 2-0 does not reflect. It was a good header in the first half and an absolute wonder goal to put them 2-0 up. You can't blame the goalie because you're attacking, so your goalie kind of puts that position because you have to be aware of the long ball at the top. It's just a wonder strike. Yeah. And that ball starts 10 yards outside the post when it hits it. Yeah. And it comes in. And the keeper is pretty much on the line as it goes in, just can't do anything about it.
Disappointing result though still for Scotland. They would have thought they would have wanted to have taken a point.
That would be one they would have looked at before and gone 3 points.
If they get 3 points for a point, they're in the group, aren't they? Yeah. They're under a lot of pressure.
So Scotland really got to try and get a draw against England and then pick up a win against Croatia, or the other way around. Poland 1, Slovakia 2. Probably big shock. Well, one of the biggest shocks of the week.
Probably the only shock of the first lot, I think, really.
Yeah, all down to the sending off. 2 yellow cards, sending off. And then Slovakia were quite comfortable winning 2-1. The only other game which was potentially another shock was Spain 0, Sweden 0.
Spain are going for a bit of a rebirth, aren't they?
Yeah, but they put Thiago on the bench and then he came on and was the best player on the pitch. But I don't know. I think it might come from a local fan, so I'm not exactly sure. That might just be a bit of a tainted view. I watched this game. Hungary 0, Portugal 3. Hungary defending really well. Portugal missed a couple of good chances first half, and then Hungary actually scored first. And it was disallowed for offside, and that was in the 70s. I think it was early in the 70th minute, and then literally 84th minute, Guerrero, the fullback, has come bombing into the area, hit the shot going across the goalkeeper's left hand side, hit the heel of the defender, and it's gone in the left hand side corner. It's just one of them as a goalkeeper who's just gone, oh no, and it's crept in the bottom corner, and then that was literally open the floodgates, and then Portugal ended up scoring 2 in the last.
And Ronaldo's broken another record.
Yeah,
top goal scorer.
Yeah, he scored a penalty, which was a penalty. There's no doubt about it. Slotted that home nicely, and then his other one was quite a good goal. Came in from the right hand side, cut inside, opened the goalkeeper out like he was going to shoot, just dribbled it past him, and keeper's on the floor, and he just tapped into an open net. And then the other one was France 1, Germany 0. I didn't watch this game, but reports are that it was an end-to-end game, and supposedly Paul Pogba was class.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me though.
Right, before we have a little look at what the results were this week, we also had the fantasy football competition. So match day week 1, which obviously gets them a voucher with discount on there, was actually of all people Steve Wolby.
He's well happy with himself, isn't he?
Yeah, you know what happened was he sat down and had a look at my team.
Just copied it.
No, he didn't copy it because I didn't get anywhere near that many points. But he had De Gea in. And I was like, does De Gea actually play for the start of the game for Spain? So he changed to my goalkeeper, Donnarumma. And then he had a couple of ones. Like, he has Mania, who was on the bench for Belgium. Castagna gets injured after like 10 minutes. He comes on, gets a clean sheet, gets an assist, and scores.
Yeah.
I'm like, that, you just can't contemplate, you can't legislate for that type of look, but not bitter at all, Steve, so
well done, Steve.
You little dwarf. But yeah, so that's with regards to that, and we've actually had a couple of games from the group stage, or match day 2. Russia beat Finland. I watched that. It was quite an open game. It was quite a good game. Russia must have missed 6 good chances, didn't even hit the target at the end of the game. And I was like, he could have had this dead and buried.
That's going to be a tight group now, isn't it?
Well,
hopefully, Denmark. We've got Belgium, but I'd like to see Denmark get something.
Well, I think it'll happen is Belgium will beat Denmark, and then it'll just be down to the Russia-Denmark game, because Finland have got their result, but they won't get a result against Belgium.
No.
And then it'll be down to Russia and Denmark in that game, and that'll be an interesting fixture. In the other one, Wales won last night. That confirms the qualification.
They were proper good, weren't they?
I was playing at the...
I mean, the two world-class players they've got in Bale and Ramsey came to the fore. I mean, Bale missed a penalty. He will never miss a penalty like that ever again, though. He was absolutely high, wide and not very handsome. Other than that, he was absolutely class, as was Ramsey. In fact, again there, before they scored, they should have been 2 or 3 up, to be quite honest. So, good on Wales.
But that gives them 4 points. So that means that worst case scenario is they finish 2nd or 3rd, and that will be good enough for one of the top 4 points. So, well done, Wales. And then Italy just looked like they got from strength to strength, cruising against Switzerland.
I did say my outside bet for the tournament.
Yeah, but you look at it and you look at the groups. Turkey would be massively disappointing.
Yeah. And
Switzerland should have beat Wales. So is it really that strong a group?
Probably not. Probably not. They're a tournament football specialist.
Yeah. And then interesting, we'll just have a little look at today's games, and then we'll look at one more game, and then we'll...
So tonight's Thursday.
So it's Thursday for us. So Ukraine due to playing 45 minutes against North Macedonia, and they're my team. I think I said this at the beginning. Is a little outside bets Ukraine. I think they'll look decent. So hopefully a good result for them. Denmark, Belgium, which should be a Belgian win.
I hope Denmark come out and put on a show though with Ericsson. I think they'll be up for it right now.
Yeah, and then Netherlands against Austria. Yeah. And the only other game we really need to cover is a little match against Croatia. No, I'm only joking. England versus Scotland. Which for all the Scottish fans, there's a little bit of fear now, because now they know they need to get a result.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on them going to England now to try and having to play for something.
And if I was them, I'd come out and try and take it to England. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Because there's no way Scotland are good enough. Much like England are against some of the better sides, you'd argue. There's no way Scotland are good enough to sit defensively to try and contain England's. They've got to come at us, I think.
No, I think you have to. If you look at that Scottish midfield, McGinn is a very, very good player. And I'd argue that he could really ruffle a few feathers in that middle of the park and get in amongst them. And I think if you're going to go and play the big blonde-haired land, Dennis, or whatever his name is.
Dallas? No.
He plays for Crystal Palace. Not Crystal Palace, Queen Park Rangers, sorry. He had his hair dyed blonde.
I can't think.
If you play him, he's not a bad player, but need a willing man around him, so I think you've got to stick Che Adams in.
Yeah.
Just for him to win the knockdowns and see if he can cause problems around the back. And I'm convinced Tyrone Mings has got a big mistake in him, so
Yeah, I agree.
I think if you play into that area, you've got a chance.
Bit of rumour that Maguire might play. I was reading today. If you're England, I think if
I wouldn't risk it.
No, I wouldn't. I
Give
think
him a little bit more time.
Yeah, give it unless he's 100% fit. I would. I know why he's played Trippier because I think he's probably the best defender out there. But we've got to play with a left back.
But you look at the chance from Kane. Came from Mason Mount. Was it Mason Mount?
Yeah,
with the left foot. Played a great ball around there. Every time Trips gets the ball and he's got a little bit of time, comes back.
Yeah.
It's almost like if he's forced to go left-footed, he will go left-footed. But because he's right-footed and you want to put a better cross in, you will come back
and
in.
It just slows everything down. Any chance that you're dead right, the chance came from the quick ball, and another day that goes in probably. So I would, if I was changing it, I would just change the left back from the time. I'd be tempted to try and get Grealish in clearly.
Yeah.
I thought Foden started well and dipped, and I thought probably Mason Mount went the other way.
Yeah.
Started quietly and then.
Yeah, I thought Mason Mount was non-existent first half.
Yeah.
Right, so let's go for it. England, Scotland. What are we going with?
2-0 England.
2-0 England. I think it might be a bit close now. I'm going to go 2-1 just to England, just to edge it. I think Scotland will come out all firing. And Robertson is such a good left back in that game that they lost the other night. He was all the time marauding down the left.
And I see Kieran Tierney's fit as well. So where did it fit?
I think
Does one play a centre half then?
I think Tierney would potentially then come in as a left-sided centre half, and then you've got Robertson as left back. Lurch just appeared again at the window there.
Yeah, Lurch. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully England win. I should imagine it'll be a cracking atmosphere at Wembley on Friday night.
This is the time where I really miss not being home.
Yeah.
Because I know that this would have been either at a venue or at somebody's house where everybody would have been there and it would have been absolutely electric.
And won't be 11 o'clock at night and you won't have a teacher licensing test Saturday morning.
Oh, I don't sound right. I have got an open day though with FS1s.
Oh.
Who's in the worst position there? FS1s or a teacher test?
Oh, definitely teacher test.
FS1s
Yeah,
with a hangover.
You can just get ring around you.
Oh, I'd be pulling at my shorts and tying my shoelaces, shouting rubbish at me and screaming. Looking forward to it. It should be good. Looking forward to the open day. I love my job.
Come on, England.
Yes. Right, so talking about England, let's diverse slightly and we'll go from football to little red ball.
Oh my goodness me. What a performance by New Zealand.
Yeah.
Second 11, has to be said. But England have got...
Where's the team gone that was firing on all cylinders 12 months ago?
I think, they are developing still, particularly with the bat, and that's where the issues lie. I know that, I think I said last week, that the lack, I don't know why they've not played a spinner. I'd always play a spinner. We haven't got one that's absolutely world class, so I kind of get that when Stokes isn't in there and you've not got an all-round to balance it. I can kind of understand four-seamers and going with Root as the part-time off it, because he's probably as good as the spinners anyway, to be perfectly honest. But it's the batting that worries me completely, and not just that, just the selection and the mindset that. So as they're losing the Test match, Bairstow, Butler, who else was it? The Cohen boys, particularly Sam Cohen, are all playing T20 Blast cricket. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Whereas, they'd obviously made a pre-arranged agreement that they were going to rest because of the IPO. But that's gone, that's been ripped up.
Is it? Well, I was going to say to you, is there something in contracts, because now they're all contracted, aren't they?
Yeah.
That says England players are allowed to play, to go on the coin basically.
Yeah. They can do that, and there was a pre-arranged agreement that when they come back from the IPO, they'd have a rest period, and obviously they'd have to quarantine because the IPO got called off. So they've been in. I just don't get it. When Trent Bolt, and I might have said this last week, in the same position in the IPO, was flown, and then as soon as as an amateur, been flown to England and played in the second Test match, our boys are sat, having in the beer gardens, and they're going to play a bit of blast cricket. It flabbergasts me. England are so obsessed with the Ashes and upcoming things that they forget about the present. And for me, you've got to have one eye on player welfare, and if they're hitting that red zone, I think you've talked about it with football and that, and rest them. But how can you rest a player when they've not played for 6 months? Chris Wokes has not played international cricket or any cricket for 9 months. He was in the Test squad.
So if he's not played cricket, why does he deserve to be in the Test squad?
Because after Wokes, he's the best all-rounder. But it's a fair point. But that's the situation they've got themselves into. That they're resting players who then aren't playing, and then not picking them when they could play. I think the thinking is, it needs to sort itself out. In my mind, anyway.
Interesting. So when's the next game for the
test match? I think it's not until July, August. I think.
So are they doing ODIs and?
So no. What's going on? They're in a period of blast cricket, domestic, and then domestic 4-day cricket before that, and then they play a Test match series, and then I think it's a lot of white ball cricket, T20 cricket leading into the T20 World Cup, which of course is here in the UAE.
And when does that start?
October, November time, I think. Just after the IPL.
So maybe at that point, vaccinations, we might be able to.
Well, of course, here at the minute you can watch. So we could have gone and watched some of the football, couldn't we, if you remember? But you needed to be vaccinated and the PCR test.
Yeah, which we only found out. We found out we could go and watch the football, but on the day the game was actually on.
Yeah.
So we couldn't get the PCR test in time. But yeah, that'd be.
We'll see what happens there. But on a more positive note, England women are playing a Test match.
I believe it's Sophie Dunkley's debut.
It is, and she's become the first black women player to play for England in Test match cricket.
Well, congratulations,
Sophie. Very good. And she's got a debut 50.
Wowzers.
So I'm just going to check the score here now. I think it was 350 odd.
Are they playing New Zealand as well?
No, they're playing India.
Okay, so they don't follow like you sometimes see in some formats, like when Liverpool play Real Madrid in the Champions League, they're under 23s. So
it's just completely different. So 357 for 8 England are at the moment, and Dunkley has got 66 now, so that's really good. Excellent. The other interesting thing there, which I think is an absolute PR blunder by the ECB. So this Test match, women's Test match, is only pretty sure it said it's only the 8th women's Test match since 2011 across all countries, all nations, and in ECB managed to put the girls on a used wicket for a new Test match. So it's just like PR blunder again. But by all accounts, it's played okay, but not very good. But England are going well. Heather Knight, the captain, fellow SM ambassador, Kit Wise, she got 90 odd last night, and an honorary member of Woodhall Spa Cricket Club too. So she opened their extension. So well done, Heather. But yeah,
good stuff.
So they're doing better than the men at the minute, put it that way.
Yes, which is always good news.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Jackie boy, and another one. I think we didn't mention Raddy Red, that new thing.
Yes.
So we need to try this out. So we mentioned it briefly before. We'll finish on this bit. Raddy Red.
Just leave you with this image.
Yeah. Raddy Red is now put on a big screen outside. Well, they have two now, don't they? They have the one downstairs.
Yeah.
They've put one up on the rooftop bar. Massive one. So you can actually sit there in your bungee smugglers.
In the pool.
Whilst watching football.
With a beverage.
With a nice blackcurrant and water in the house.
So yeah, we'll have to give that a pop. 11 o'clock at night, it's a bit like...
Yeah, but the 5 o'clock would be a nice one.
Yeah, it would, yeah.
Jack, you got anything on in like 25 minutes? I could potentially make it.
Should we go? Right, quick.
I could get you...
Right, let's go.
Bungee smugglers, but I could get you some underpants. But on that note, I think we best go. Jack.
What do we know?